What's up guys, how's it going? Today's video is going to be a race review of the SKUSA Pro Tour Round 2 final on Sunday at NOLA Motorsports Park. A lot of you guys were commenting, wondering why I was starting so far in the back. In the pre-final it rained, and so we got a lot of rain in the air box, and that obviously hurt the engine. So going down the straightaway I was losing about 2 or 3 positions every time, so it made the race really difficult. But luckily it gave us an exciting final where I passed quite a few go-karts, and that's what we're going to review today. It's a long video, so let's just jump right into it. So starting this far back, there's not much strategy to this. Biggest thing I want to do though is as soon as it goes green, I want to try and jump down to the inside. I do that, looking for the inside. You see a guy kind of go over the curb. Obviously I noticed he was going over the curb as soon as we went in that corner, and so I figured he's going to wash out, so I wanted to keep it nice and tight. Coming out of that corner, everybody goes down the straightaway to block. I didn't have anybody behind me, so I figured there's no reason to get my tires extra dirty for no reason. So I just stayed on the outside, figured I'd catch up to him into the corner anyway, and that's what happened. Following these guys, there's a passing zone right here. Didn't go for it. Everybody's kind of being defensive on the first lap, so I didn't want to risk anything right now. The race is really long. 341 goes the inside. I'll just follow him through on that one. Kind of run a little wide to clear the driver out so he doesn't want to pass me back on the into the next corner. Over the curbs, over the right, to the left. You see he misses that curb and kind of drives off the racetrack. Set up super wide, go down to the inside to get to the inside of him there. Biggest thing though I'm looking at is obviously the spacing I have with me and the next drivers in front of me. Trying to communicate, let's work together. They know I have speed, they know I'm starting in the back because of the pre-final problem, and if they follow me through, hopefully they can come through as well. So some racing up in front of me, looking to catch up to these guys, pushing down the straightaway, not really gaining anything on the draft. And obviously from this point on, you want to just make sure you're making clean, consistent passes. You don't want to spend too much time passing somebody in a corner where you end up wasting a lot of time. You want to make as fast as passes as possible without losing a lot of time. So every driver I'm looking at, I'm trying to look at where's the best place to pass these guys without losing a lot of time. So you don't want to go in hairpins, tight corners, because you're definitely going to lose quite a bit of time. See the driver struggling there off corner. Again, I'm probably going to look in that right that I did in the last corner. He did the same thing, went really wide. So I'm going to set that up, go again right down into there. He kind of turned down a little bit, but I was there, so it was an easy pass. I like that corner a lot because you really don't lose that much time. Even if you block in that corner, you don't lose that much time. It's kind of banked, so you can carry a lot of speed into it without losing any time. And so for me, when you're coming through the field and you need to make a fast pass on somebody where you can go in late on the brakes and outbrake somebody from quite a distance back and not lose that much time, that's a great passing zone. So again, these next couple laps, I think I'm just chasing down the driver in front of me, just trying to hit my marks and get in the zone. Probably just going to skip to where the passes are. This video is going to be really long, so I'm just going to skip to the parts where I catch the drivers and explain what goes on through my head in those spots. So a few laps have gone by and I've caught up to my teammate Biggs Tyner. He and I kind of spoke before the race, if we ever get close to each other, we're going to try and work with each other. I caught him from quite a distance back though, so I figured, if I can get to the inside of him, I'm definitely going to go for it. He makes a little mistake there, and I figured, this is a good time to go for it. Kind of went in late. But again, we spoke a little bit about trying to work together and get going. There's the point, I'm telling him, let's go. I have speed right now. We also talked a bit about tire pressure and who was out on a higher pressure. So I was out on a little bit higher pressure. It's early in the race right now. I figured if anybody's going to lead, let me get out front and lead for now. And then at the end of the race, if you've got the speed to come back, let's go from there. And talking to him again, letting him know, let's get going. And he's working with me, and he pushes me for quite a bit of this race. Obviously with the straightaway being so big, there's so much time you can gain on it with having a partner or having a drafting partner. And you can see in these next couple laps when we catch this group, every time we get on the straightaway, because I'm getting pushed by him, we're just gaining 3-4 tenths a lap just on the straightaway alone. So it's definitely helping a ton of time. Catching up to this next driver here, just trying to hit our marks. Biggest thing that I'm looking for though is, again, where are the leaders? Are they racing? Is there a pack? I'm noticing when I'm looking up there that there is a big pack of lead drivers, and obviously as the race goes on that'll thin out, but there's still 4 or 5 guys right now that are in the lead pack, and that's very exciting for me because I know that 5 guys around this racetrack is not that fast. So if they can stay in that pack and they can stay racing and they can stay competing like that, then I'm gonna have an opportunity, hopefully around the end of this race. Even though I'm this far back and I see that I've got quite a bit of gap to make up, they're about a half a straightaway ahead of me. It still is, the door is still open there. I still have an opportunity to come and challenge for this race win. Over the curb, catching up to this driver in front of me, trying to see where I'm gaining. I'm gaining mainly through that last sector that we were just in and on entry into a lot of the corners. You can see he's definitely struggling with the go-kart and struggling, carrying speed into the corner. Again, I'm probably going to try and look at that corner that I like to go into, that right-hander. He messed up one of the curbs there and got a bit too much curb and bottomed out. Didn't get to go there, but I got a good run out of that corner. Maybe I'll go in this last corner. Yep, gonna go there. It was late, but again, that last corner as well, just from driving here over the past couple weeks, don't lose much time. Told them, let's go. The leaders aren't really that far ahead at this point. You see that two of them kind of broke away, but again, they're racing so much that they'll probably slow down quite a bit. Big pack of guys in front of me, and like I said before, the big pack of guys don't really go that fast. It's the two carts, go fast, but 4 or 5 don't really go that fast. So hopefully I can run these guys down pretty quick. Definitely some hard dicing going on in there, and like I said, still looking for good opportunities where I'm not going to lose much time. Just driving into the corners hard and hope that I have some grip to get through it, and just give it all that I have these couple laps to get up through this field as fast as possible. Obviously, every pass you make, you're losing time on the guys in front of you. So try and make as fast a pass as possible, just so you can work your way through the field and not lose much time. Pass down there to the inside. So I'm looking at their setups, and I realized that the comp car just tried to make the pass on the driver in front of him and immediately got overtaken on exit. So looking at that and going, okay, maybe he's got a lower gear, maybe he has less teeth, and that's how he's able to get down the straightaway well and doesn't have a great acceleration off corner. So definitely, when I catch this driver, I'm going to want to try and do it on the infield. So possibly, I can get a good run off the corner and get enough separation that I don't have to, race back by him on the straightaway. Caught up to him pretty quick. And again, yeah, I'm gaining a lot through the infield right out of that. That's one of the slowest corners on the track, and I'm pushing him off the corner. So I'm realizing, okay, he's probably got a lower sprocket than I do. Got to make it through, one of these corners in the infield and hope, I can stretch it out enough that he's not going to pass me back in the straightaway, or he can maybe push me down the straightaway, and that'll help me out even more. Gonna look into my favorite corner right here. Yep, gonna go back in that right-hander. And you see, I didn't really lose that much time on the driver in front of me. Obviously, it's not the best situation, because you always are gonna lose time, but didn't lose much time. And actually, Biggs Tyner behind me, he followed me through on the pass, and so that was really good to have him there, because a lot of these guys that I was fighting with, coming through the field, ended up not being that hard, because I didn't have to worry about anybody on the exit. I could pass, and then my teammate would follow me right through, and that was 2 guys that just had so much more momentum going forward that we could clear these drivers out and just start going again and trying to pick up as much positions as we can, and pick up as much time as we possibly can. So now we've caught my other teammate, Nate Cicero. Ran him down after a few laps here. I've talked to him as well, and he knows where I started, and so before the race, I'm not going to try and pass him in a spot where it'll compromise his race, obviously, because that's going to cost a lot of time for me. And I know he's willing to work with me if I were to get in front of him. And so I know that if I pass him, he's going to help me out, so I don't need to do any pass where, I have to run him wide off the corner, or, I have to slow him down on the exit. I'm just going to try and wait till I get to the straightaway, pull out. I know I have my other teammate Biggs behind me, and he's going to push me through. So right here, he runs a little wide off of turn 1, go down the straightaway, get the nice draft, pull out, and I have Biggs behind me pushing me through, and so he's just going to concede the spot. We're going to get back in line and start pushing towards the next guy. Obviously, with your teammates, it's nice to have teammates out there for the situations like these, because it just makes it easier. But just if you don't have teammates, you can still do this with a lot of guys. Obviously, like if you and somebody else who are fast during the week go to the back, and you guys can communicate like, hey, let's work together, let's try and make something happen in this race, it will help you out. A lot of the guys just want to go forward, and sometimes you have to be the person that's pushing the other guy, which is fine, as long as you're going forward and you feel like you're not being slowed up by the guy in front of you that much, it's a benefit. It's always good for you guys just to be going forward and to be making up ground. And even if you're the guy pushing, it's better for the race in general, that you push him up, and then if you have to, you can pass him at the end of the race. Catching the next cart in front of us. He's looking back, so I'm expecting a defense because he's not super quick. Wanted to go down here at the end of the straightaway, but kind of ran out of time. But he's definitely looking back. You can see his cart in the center of the corner there just stepping out. He runs really wide off exit, kind of defends into that corner, over the curb hard. I just wanted to go there, even though that's not the best opportunity. Just the way he was looking back and the way he was, kind of coming wide off the corners and making it really hard to get by him on the entry into the corner, I figured he might make it difficult for me to pass. So I went with a pass where, okay, yeah, it wasn't the best opportunity for the race and it might have cost me a little bit more time. But I figured it'd be better just to go quick and to get over with this pass as soon as possible than to spend a lot of time, battling with this person who might be blocking and is realizing that, their race is kind of on its last leg and they're going backwards. And so I just didn't want to deal with that. I figured if I can catch him by surprise and catch him in a corner that he wouldn't think I'd pass him in, let's just do it. Let's go for it. It's those split-second decisions that make a big difference in your race. Obviously, if that guy were to block and I spend 2 laps behind him, there's no way I could catch this lead group. They're already still so far ahead. And so, obviously, these next couple laps are spent running them down. But even then, you don't want to waste any laps or any time that you don't have to, dealing with the driver that might be blocking. And, he might have not blocked anyways, but it's better just to get it over with. You're making these decisions in split seconds, so it's better just to get the pass done and try and move on to the next person. And that stuff you got to watch out for, when you're coming through the field, is looking at the mannerisms of the drivers in front of you, looking at their carts. Did they go out on a higher tire pressure? Because clearly that driver was sliding quite a bit, so he probably went out on a higher tire pressure. It's not paying off. He might be a little more desperate towards the end of the race. That's just stuff you got to look at. He's also looking behind quite a bit. He looked behind 2 times on that straightaway, and so it's like, okay, I know he knows he's not fast. He knows I'm coming, and so I don't know. I didn't want to play the odds of even having to race this guy and wait around for 2 laps trying to get by him. So we finally caught the leaders on this lead pack of drivers. 4 guys in front of me. We're in 5th right now, so from 18th to 5th. Catching the 304, we caught him quite a bit. You can see he's fallen off of that lead pack. He's not able to close up on him even in their toe. So that's somebody I'm going to get by fast. I couldn't do it in that right-hander, but I'm going to throw it in there late into this last corner, and try and get in front of him. He obviously realized that his race is, he's not able to close on the leader, so his best bet is probably to work with me and try and let me catch those guys. And right now he's pushing me, which is good. I gave him a thumbs up. You can see the guys in front of me are racing, and he could see it too. And they're racing hard. I mean, they just, 2 guys went by right there, and they're racing pretty hard and intense. And so this is an opportunity to try and capitalize on that and run down that time and try and make up as much time as possible here. Coming out of turn 1, we've caught the lead pack finally. And something that I'm noticing is that 324 has a lot of straightaway. So he's probably on a smaller sprocket than I am. So that's something I'm noticing and want to keep note of as the race goes on. Obviously we're in the last bit of the race, and so that's something I'm looking at. He's got a lower sprocket. Again, maybe try and pass him in the infield. Might have to defend on the straightaway, but that's somebody that I'm going to be worried about at the end of the straightaway. Going into this back left-hander here, look to the inside, but he kind of defended, so not necessarily going to go there. Over the curbs. This is where a section I felt really strong, and that's why I passed going into the right. Get a nice run out of here, but again, he just kind of pulls away once we get to the mid-top end of the engine. So I know he's on a lower gear. Go to the inside there, and now I'm going to signal, work with me, and he's got so much straightaway that it's going to be really good. This combination should be pretty fast, so we should be able to run down these guys, pretty quick. Because with me pulling him through the infield and him pushing me down the straightaway, yeah, look at that. I mean, we're just closing right up on the drivers in front of me. Brake a little early just so we don't go off the racetrack. Look at the 372 is going to go to the inside. I'm going to try with them. I had to slow it down there a little bit just to avoid hitting the 313. But now the race is on for the win, and at this point I'm like, okay, I have a good shot at winning this race. Even though I started so far back, there's a high probability I can win this race here. I have some speed. Gonna go down here, he slows up a little bit, and there's a little contact. I didn't mean to hit him or anything. It just, he seemed to slow up quite a bit in the center of the corner. Now there's a huge gap between me and the leader. I don't know what happened there, honestly. Like I didn't try and hit the kid, so I don't really know why he slowed up so much in the center of the corner. And then we're on the white flag, which they shortened the race, which was quite frustrating because there's still like 3-4 laps left, and we could have closed that gap. And down the straightaway here, I have a decision that I can either block or hope that they push me. I didn't block, and you see they all went 3 wide. I knew, again, the Burrell had that top end, and I figured that if I didn't block, maybe he'd push me down the straightaway, and we could close that gap. And we closed a little bit, but just obviously not enough to want them to want to work with me. And at this point, you know, I ate up my tires quite a bit, and it was a hard race up to that. And so I'm going to try and make a position up here in these last couple corners, but it's difficult because they're blocking so hard, and I obviously have the drivers behind me as well, so it's not like I can set up to do it kind of any over-unders. And here I had to block in this last corner just to hold on to 4th. And maybe on the exit of this last corner, you know, you see the pass right there for 2nd, so I'm going to try and get the driver out the last corner, but didn't have enough there and finished the race 4th. You know, overall, that was a really good race to come up through the field, and obviously it's disappointing when you get into 2nd and have an opportunity to win the race, but you know, you lose it. So disappointing way to finish the race. I really wish I could have had a better end result there, and I probably should have blocked in that last run down the straightaway. It wasn't the best idea to stay, you know, just on the regular racing line, but I figured that if I went down and blocked, I was just going to get dirt on my tires, and then they were just going to blow by me on the outside. But you know, everything's clear in hindsight. So, you know, it's one of those things in racing that every race you're learning what to do and what not to do. And so that's something I shouldn't have done. But overall, good race, really fun drive through the field. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Comment what you guys think I should have done in that last lap and what line I should have taken. I don't know, you know, what I could have done differently, but obviously you guys got a different viewpoint of it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram and my Facebook. That's where you'll get any updates on my racing career. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you at the next one.